In a cozy little house near a bustling town lived Tom, a clever but often lazy cat, and Jerry, a tiny mouse with a quick mind and a heart full of mischief. Their days were a whirlwind of running, hiding, chasing, and an endless stream of tricks. Everyone saw them as rivals, yet their lives were undeniably intertwined. No matter how many times Tom schemed to catch Jerry, the little mouse always found a brilliant way to escape, leaving behind a trail of laughter and delightful chaos. One bright morning, the air in the house felt different. It was unusually quiet. Jerry cautiously peeked out from his mouse hole, his tiny nose twitching as he sniffed the air. It was golden, it was shiny, and it smelled so absolutely delicious that Jerry's eyes sparkled with pure joy. He couldn't help but smile and whisper to himself, "This must be my lucky day." But Jerry was blissfully unaware that Tom was already awake and watching, hidden behind the refrigerator. Tom observed Jerry's every move, a confident grin spreading across his face. That magnificent cheese wasn't a gift, it was bait, it was a trap. Today is the day, Tom thought with a surge of pride. I will finally catch that mouse. Just as Jerry scrambled onto the table and reached a tiny paw toward the cheese, a net suddenly dropped from the ceiling. But Jerry, with his lightning-fast reflexes, jumped back just in time, landing gracefully on a nearby spoon. He giggled and gave Tom a cheeky wave. "Nice try, Tom," he teased. Enraged, Tom charged forward, only to slip on a bar of soap, crash headfirst into a chair, and go rolling across the polished floor. The great chase had begun once again. They zoomed through the kitchen, sliding across the shiny floor like professional skaters. They knocked over chairs and sent cushions flying in the living room. Tom, desperate, grabbed a broom and swung it wildly, hoping to corner Jerry. But Jerry was just as resourceful, picking up a small rolling pin to defend himself. Neither of them landed a hit, and the mess in the house just grew bigger and bigger. Then, suddenly, a loud worry noise filled the room. The floor began to vibrate as a robotic vacuum cleaner rolled in, spinning wildly and sucking up everything in its path. The robot was a force of nature, moving with surprising speed, pulling in pillows, papers, and to their mutual horror, the giant piece of cheese. Jerry gasped, his heart sinking. "My cheese!" he cried out. Tom was just as shocked. "That was my trap," he yelled, completely forgetting his plan. They stopped in their tracks and looked at one another. In that shared moment of crisis, a silent agreement was made. They nodded. Jerry, without a second thought, leaped onto Tom's head and began pointing out directions, expertly guiding him around the furniture. Tom ran as fast as his 4 paws could carry him, while Jerry, acting as the brains of the operation, pulled on wires and frantically pressed buttons on the rogue machine. Sparks flew, and the rampaging robot turned its attention to them, chasing them around the room in a dizzying circle. Thinking fast, Tom grabbed a bucket of water. At the exact same moment, Jerry gave the power cord a mighty yank. With a loud splash and a final, fizzling spark, the robot shuddered to a halt. Silence descended upon the house. The cheese, miraculously, rolled out from under the defeated robot and landed right back on the table, completely untouched. Tom and Jerry, panting heavily, stared at the cheese. Then they slowly turned and looked at each other. A small smile appeared on Jerry's face. He said softly, "Truce." Tom considered it for a moment, then gave a slow, deliberate nod. For once, there was no chasing. There was no rivalry. They sat together and shared the magnificent cheese. Jerry took tiny, delicate bites, while Tom enjoyed big, satisfying chunks. A sense of peace filled the room, a rare and welcome calm. It was a perfect moment. But perfect moments in their house never last long. Suddenly, the front door swung open. The owner of the house returned and gasped in utter shock at the chaotic mess before her. "What in the world happened here?" she shouted, her voice echoing with anger. Tom panicked, his eyes darting around looking for Jerry, but the mouse was already one step ahead. Jerry pulled a hidden string, and a bucket, the very one Tom had used, dropped from the ceiling, landing squarely on Tom's head. And just like that, the chase was on again. Tom ran after Jerry, slipping and yelling as the little mouse laughed and raced back toward his mouse hole. Before disappearing inside, Jerry turned and called out cheerfully, "Same time tomorrow, Tom." Tom, freeing himself from the bucket, shook his fist in the air and shouted, "I'll get you next time, Jerry. You'll see." And so, their story continued, a wonderful, endless cycle of laughter, rivalry, unexpected teamwork, and pure, unadulterated fun. Because no matter how much they chased each other, one thing was always certain: life with Tom and Jerry was never, ever boring. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures.